Rich Dad and Poor Dad. Here are 9 most powerful lessons of Rich Dad and Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki begins by introducing the author's unique experience of having 2 father figures who shaped his understanding of money. His biological father, the poor dad, was well-educated, valued job security, and believed in working hard for a steady paycheck. In contrast, his friend's father, the rich dad, was a businessman who emphasized financial independence, investing, and making money work for him. Through observing their different attitudes and approaches to wealth, Kiyosaki learned valuable lessons about money, work, and life. The introduction sets the stage for the book's central theme. Traditional education alone is not enough to achieve financial success, and financial literacy is essential to building wealth.
Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. Most people wake up every morning, rush to work, and spend their day earning a paycheck. They trade their time for money. The problem with this is simple. Time is limited. No matter how hard you work, there are only 24 hours in a day, which means your income has a ceiling. This was the mindset of my poor dad. He believed in studying hard, getting a good job, and depending on a salary. But my rich dad taught me something very different. He said, "Don't work for money. Learn how to make money work for you." Think of it like this. If you're an employee, you only earn when you show up to work. But if you create or own assets, like a business, real estate, or investments, those assets can generate income for you even when you're not working. A simple example is Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors. He doesn't trade his time for money. His investments keep growing and producing wealth for him day and night. That's the power of making money work for you. The key lesson here is to stop thinking only like an employee who depends on a paycheck. Instead, start thinking like an owner, an investor, or a creator of assets. That shift in mindset is the first step toward financial freedom.
Lesson 2. Financial education is power. In school, we learn math, history, and science, but almost nothing about how money really works. That's why so many people, even those with high-paying jobs like doctors and lawyers, often struggle financially. They may earn a lot, but without the knowledge of how to manage, grow, and protect that money, they can still end up living paycheck to paycheck. My rich dad taught me that the most valuable asset in the world isn't money itself, it's financial education. If you know how money works, you can always create more of it. But if you don't, even a high salary can slip through your fingers. Financial education means understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, knowing how taxes affect your income, and learning how to invest so your money grows on its own. Take Elon Musk as an example. He didn't build Tesla and SpaceX just because he had money. In fact, he risked almost everything he had at one point. What set him apart was his financial intelligence. He understood how to raise capital, manage risk, and reinvest profits to keep his companies growing. That's what financial education looks like in real life. The key takeaway is simple. Don't just work harder, learn smarter. Money alone won't make you rich, but knowledge about money can give you the power to build wealth and keep it.
Lesson 3. Assets versus liabilities. Know the difference. This lesson is the heart of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's simple, but it changes everything. The rich spend their time and money buying assets, things that put money into their pocket. The poor and middle class, on the other hand, often buy liabilities, but they think those liabilities are assets. That confusion is why so many people struggle financially, even if they earn a good income. Here's the difference. An asset is something that makes you money. A liability is something that takes money away from you. Your house, for example, might feel like an asset, but unless it's generating income, like rent, it's actually a liability. A rental property that pays you cash flow every month, that's an asset. Buying a new car that loses value as soon as you drive it off the lot? Liability. But owning dividend-paying stocks that keep giving you money year after year, that's an asset. Think about Jeff Bezos when he was building Amazon. Instead of spending his profits on fancy houses or cars, he reinvested that money into assets, more servers, better logistics, and new technology. Those assets created more income, which made Amazon grow into one of the biggest companies in the world. The key takeaway is this: if you want to be rich, focus on buying assets, not liabilities. Every financial choice you make should come back to one question: does this put money in my pocket or take it out? That simple mindset shift can change your financial future.
Lesson 4. The importance of entrepreneurship. Most people choose to become employees because a job feels safe. You work your hours, you get your paycheck, and you have the comfort of security. But my rich dad showed me a bigger picture. He encouraged me not to think only like a worker, but to think like a business owner. Because while employees trade time for money, entrepreneurs build systems that work for them, even when they're not there. That's the true power of entrepreneurship. It creates leverage. When you work alone, your income is limited to your own effort and hours. But when you build a business, you create teams, products, and systems that keep generating income whether you're actively working or not. Instead of you working for the business begins to work for you. Take Richard Branson as an example. He didn't become a billionaire by sitting at a desk from 9 to 5. He created the Virgin Empire, launching businesses in music, airlines, mobile networks, and even space travel. Each business became another system that produced wealth and impact on its own. The key lesson is this: if you truly want financial freedom, you have to look beyond just being an employee. Security has its place, but wealth and freedom come from ownership, creativity, and building something bigger than yourself. Entrepreneurship isn't about taking wild risks. It's about learning to create systems that continue to grow long after you've stepped away. Lesson 5. The power of investing. Most people believe that saving money is the key to becoming rich. They work hard, put money into the bank, and feel safe watching their savings grow slowly. But the truth is, saving alone will never make you wealthy. Why? Because of inflation. Every year the cost of living goes up and the value of your money slowly goes down. That means money sitting idle in a bank account is actually losing power. My rich dad explained it simply. Money sitting idle loses value. Money invested multiplies. The rich don't just save, they invest. They put their money into things that grow, like stocks, real estate, businesses, or even digital assets. Investments have the power to multiply your money far faster than you could ever earn it by working. Think of Mark Cuban, the billionaire entrepreneur. He didn't build his fortune by simply saving paychecks. He invested early in technology companies, and those smart investments turned small amounts of money into massive wealth. That's the difference. Savers protect money, but investors grow it. The lesson here is clear. If you want financial freedom, you can't rely only on working harder or saving more. You must learn to invest. The more you understand how to put your money to work, the faster it will grow, and the sooner you'll reach a point where your money works harder for you than you ever could for it.
Lesson 6. Work to learn, not just to earn. Most people grow up being told to focus on job titles and salaries.
That was my poor dad's way of thinking. Study hard, get a secure job, and aim for a bigger paycheck. But my rich dad taught me something very different. He said, don't just work to earn money. Work to learn new skills. When you chase only money, your growth is limited to a paycheck. But when you focus on building skills, your value multiplies over time. Skills like sales, marketing, leadership, negotiation, and investing are far more powerful than a salary because they open endless doors. Money can come and go, but skills stay with you for life, and they keep creating opportunities. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. She didn't build her empire because of one single job. She mastered communication, storytelling, branding, and later, business strategy. Those skills allowed her to grow far beyond being a television host into one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world. The key takeaway here is simple. Invest in yourself first. Before you chase money, build skills. Because once you master valuable skills, money will follow you wherever you go for the rest of your life.
Lesson 7. Taxes and Corporations, the Secrets of the Rich. One of the biggest differences between the rich and the poor is not just how much money they make, but how they handle taxes. Most employees follow the same pattern. They earn money, the government takes taxes first, and they spend whatever is left over. But the rich play by a different set of rules. They structure their income in a way that allows them to earn, spend on expenses, and then pay taxes only on what's left. This isn't about cheating the system, it's about understanding it. The wealthy use corporations, businesses, and smart investments as tools. A corporation, for example, allows them to deduct expenses like travel, cars, or even meals before taxes are calculated. Meanwhile, an employee doesn't get those same benefits. The result is that the rich legally keep more of their money, while most employees lose a large portion of their income to taxes. A clear example is billionaire Donald Trump long before his presidency. He openly admitted to using real estate laws and corporate structures to reduce his taxes. Whether people agreed with him or not, it highlighted a truth. The wealthy know how to use the system to their advantage, while most people don't even realize those rules exist. The key takeaway is this: money alone isn't enough. You must understand how taxes work. If you ignore taxes, they will eat away at your income for the rest of your life. But if you learn the rules and use the system legally, you can protect your money and grow it much faster than an ordinary paycheck ever could.
Lesson 8. The Mindset of Risk and Fear. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to wealth. My poor dad was always afraid of losing money, so he avoided risks altogether. He believed that playing it safe was the smartest path. But my rich dad taught me a different perspective. He said, "Don't fear risk, learn to manage it." The truth is, the poor and middle class often stay stuck because they let fear control their decisions. They avoid investing, avoid starting businesses, and avoid opportunities because they're afraid of losing. The rich, on the other hand, understand that risk is part of the game. They don't run from it, they learn how to manage it. And they also understand that failure isn't the end, it's a teacher. Think about the world's most successful people: Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. Every one of them failed multiple times. Their companies stumbled, their ideas were rejected, and they lost millions along the way. But instead of letting fear stop them, they used each failure as a lesson and kept moving forward. That resilience is what separated them from everyone else. The lesson here is simple. Don't let fear of losing hold you back.
The real danger isn't failure, it's never trying at all. Fear keeps you stuck. Courage, learning, and persistence are what move you forward.
Lesson 9. Make money work for you. My rich dad always reminded me, the goal is not to be rich for a day. The goal is to be rich forever. That lesson is about more than just making money. It's about building wealth that lasts. And the way to do that is through passive income. Money that flows to you even when you're not actively working. Most people chase paychecks. They trade their time for money. And when they stop working, the money stops too. The rich focus on building streams of income that keep flowing on their own. Real estate that generates rent, stocks that pay dividends, businesses that produce profits, or even royalties from creative work. All of these are examples of money working for you instead of you working for it. Look at Jay-Z. He's not wealthy just because of his music. He invested in businesses, built brands, and created partnerships that continue to earn him money long after a song is recorded. That's how wealth becomes sustainable. It's not tied to hours worked. It's tied to systems and assets that keep producing value. The key takeaway is this: stop chasing paychecks. Focus on creating income streams that work while you sleep. Once your money works harder for you than you work for it, you've achieved real financial freedom.
Conclusion. The difference between my rich dad and my poor dad was never about intelligence. It was about mindset. My poor dad believed in playing it safe, depending on a paycheck, and hoping that retirement would someday bring peace. My rich dad believed in taking control, building assets, and creating freedom. True wealth is not about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's not about looking rich, it's about being free. Free from debt, free from fear, and free to live life on your own terms. If you want to escape the rat race, remember these principles. Don't work for money, make money work for you. Focus on building assets, not piling up liabilities. Invest in financial education and never stop learning. Develop skills that make you more valuable every year. Learn to manage risk instead of fearing it. And above all, build businesses, investments, and income streams that continue to grow while you sleep. This is the mindset that separates the poor from the rich. Billionaires are not defined by luck or even intelligence. They are defined by their willingness to think differently, to take responsibility for their future, and to let their money work harder than they ever could with their own hands. The greatest lesson is this: wealth begins in the mind. Once you change how you think about money, you change how money works for you. As Robert Kiyosaki says, the poor work for money. The rich make money work for them. And that is the mindset that builds empires, legacies, and freedom that lasts for generations.